Well, hey folks, welcome aboard. Welcome to our last live stream lecture for this class. As I mentioned in the who's a what's it, the comments there, this is going to be our last live stream lecture. After this, those of you who are in the class, we will be meeting over Zoom to work on our project together. I'll go over the details after class, but basically what it comes down to is I'm going to set up a Zoom meeting. We're all going to get together. I'll put us in our teams, and I'll just be jumping from group to group to help out where I can. But we'll go over more of that after this short, it's going to be a short one today, short lecture. So, yeah, let's go ahead and get started. This is what it's over there. I'm never going to get that right. In a perfect world, I would have the monitor over here, but it doesn't work with the studio. This is what we're talking about today. Credibility in our business communication. This is really important. And so we're going to go ahead and there it is. I got the right button. We're going to go ahead and let's jump right into this. So let's start with a question. And I'll go ahead and hit the 2-minute timer for this. So here's a thought. I have a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD, and I'm SPHR certified. I have 25 years, it's actually closer to 30 years now, corporate experience. I've lived in 5 countries. I speak 3 languages, and I'm a 4-time Ironman finisher. All right. Why does any of this matter to you as a student? In this context right now, for most of you, I am the professor and you are the student. Why do you care if I have 25 years corporate experience, an MBA and a PhD and all that sort of stuff? So go ahead and throw it in the comments here and let's see what we come up with. Why do you care? Okay, let's come on over and take a look at some of these. So right away, just so you know, we have got, and go away you, that's not what I want this. I've got this thing set up just right, but sometimes it gets a little weird, and my Stream Deck opens up things I don't want it to open. We've got some great comments here. Let's look at these. So, confidence in me. You have some level of confidence that I know what I'm talking about. Because reliant on me for information, credentials are a way for us to trust what I'm saying is applicable and accurate. I like the way that you've said that, Sarah. Credentials are a way for you to trust that what I have to offer is in some way or another valuable. Stephanie, you have real life experience, a lot of knowledge in different areas, right? Confident in learning. Feel like you won't just teach what the school tells you, but you'll teach what's helpful to make you successful. Yes, yes, and yes. The truth is the school doesn't tell us what to teach. There's a whole system around it, but luckily I'm in an organization where they give me a lot of latitude to leverage the credentials, the experience, and the education that I have. Teach beyond the rubric. I like that, Tiffany. Alex says, want a knowledgeable and confident individual, competent. If a professor is credible, they are more likely to provide accurate and relevant information, things that'll help you learn, grow, be successful, right? Absolutely. Yeah, you've all nailed it. And so what I want to posit to you is that this is really important. You're paying good money to attend a college, and you want to have some assurances that this guy knows what he's talking about, right? So the credibility, the credentials, the experience, and so forth, it really matters to you because you are putting a lot of weight on the information that I provide. And I hope you do, because it's actually good information, okay? So this matters for us as well. I'm going to posit something. And when I say posit, I mean I'm going to make a statement that I assert as being true. That's a posit. You want to influence the behavior of others at work. You want to influence your managers. You want to influence your peers. You want to influence your employees. You want to influence your stakeholders. You want to be successful, and you want those around you to be successful. You want the whole organization to be successful, and you have some ideas about how to do that. Therefore, you want to influence them. This means that credibility matters for you as well, okay? Increased success and job satisfaction when employees, colleagues, and managers perceive you as credible. They are more likely to trust your suggestions, input, and decisions. This is what we want. I know. Okay, listen. I know you want money. I get it. I totally get it. Money's not going to be what makes you. Money doesn't make you happy. Money reduces the anxieties and stressors that make you unhappy. Okay? So money doesn't make you happy. It reduces things that make you unhappy. Well, what makes you happy? Influence, right? Having your suggestions listened to, your input valued, and your decisions supported by others. Trust me, this is what makes you happy in the workplace. Your credibility is what's going to contribute to that. Christopher says, plus knowing that you've done it for such a long time. Okay, shows and adapted in the field over time. Yes, I like to think so, right? I'm making sure I got the mouse on the... Oh, for heaven's sake, mouse, go to the right place. There we go. Now we've got the next one. Okay. Let's continue with this. This increased trust and confidence can lead to better collaboration, informed performance, and increased job satisfaction. So I really want you to embrace my assertion that the more you are perceived as credible and competent, the more influence you will have, the more people will respect you, the more you will be able to get done and bring people together, and ultimately the happier you're going to be in your job. Okay? So that's my assertion. You want to influence decision making. I mean, okay, I can't speak for you, but I can speak for me. There are a few things that frustrate me more than when I feel that a decision has been imposed upon me without me having input or opportunity to take part in the decision-making process. I want to influence decisions. And so companies are always seeking ways to make data-based decisions. And so if your data is not perceived as credible, then you will be unsuccessful in helping these organizations, guide them in their important decisions. So it's important that what you bring to the table is considered credible. Not only you, but your data, your citations, and so forth. Okay. Also really, really, really important in coaching and training, as we are doing right here. All I'm doing is coaching and training. That's all I'm doing. I want to affect your behavior. I want you to embrace these ideas. I want you to learn the skills. I want you to actually apply them at work. That's why we're going to apply them in our project here going forward. And this means I'm trying to influence your behavior. And you are going to want to influence the behavior of others when you do corporate training and when you do, coaching and so forth. And the higher you get in your role, in your position, and in your career, the more people will turn to you as a coach and a mentor. It's very difficult to affect behavior, but it's impossible if you're not perceived as a credible source. So even though, and I thank you, even though you perceive me as a credible source, it's still really hard work to influence you. And it's not just because it's you, it's just human nature. Influencing people is a Herculean task, but it's utterly impossible if you're not perceived as credible. So you really need that element. You also need it for career advancement, which is why you are here. You're here for the career advancement. To a significant degree, others in control of your career advancement, the organizational gatekeepers, they need to perceive you as credible. Yes, you advance because of your skills and your education and your contributions and so forth. But there are gatekeepers, managers, HR, stakeholders, you name it. There are gatekeepers, and they need to perceive you as credible. Sometimes your performance and your contributions are not always recognized and understood. And so when you explain them, the more you are perceived as credible, the more these contributions will be accepted as valuable. You need to be able to accurately and credibly make the case for your advancement. Okay, people are not going to promote you because they're swell and you're pretty. I know. I'm pretty. All right. But that's not how I got where I am today. Although we all know I could have written a check with this. They are going to advance you because of your contributions and your credibility. A reputation for credibility can lead to greater opportunities for career advancement. It's that simple. Okay. So what makes you credible? I mean, What is it? Let's play with these. One thing is expertise. Okay? Having skills, knowledge, and experience in a particular field can make you a credible source of information in this domain. I have expertise in some defined areas. I tend to be more of a generalist. I actually esteem the generalist over the specialist. I think, for me anyway, I find more success and happiness in being a generalist. Nevertheless, there are some areas in which I have some specific expertise. And I want to be clear, there are, okay, why didn't that one work? Oh, I see, I accidentally hit that. There are some areas in which you are an expert, where if this were reversed and we were talking about something else, I would be the one looking to you for expertise. So it's important that you understand where your expertise lies, because that's where your credibility lies, which is where your influence lies. Okay? Your expertise leads to the ability to influence. Education and credentials. You know this. This is why you're here. Having relevant degree or certification can, lend credibility to your contributions. So my MBA, my PhD, and my SPHR, all that means is I've been in class a long time. But it lends to my credibility. I actually very rarely say or write my whole title, because I find that nonsense pretentious. But when I need to assert my credibility, especially when I'm giving a review or a recommendation, if any of you come to me and say, hey, Long, can you give me a recommendation for this program, for this scholarship, for this job, and so forth, I always sign with all my letters, because my credibility reflects upon you. Membership and, that's statistically false. Pretty people get promoted about 30% more often. They do. I so dearly want to disagree with Sarah, but it's true. It's true. There's all kinds of studies about it. Looks matter. Height matters. It's a funny darn thing. Any case, let's keep going. Hey, membership association. Membership in a professional organization can be an indicator of credibility. So I'm a member of SHRM, the Society for Human Resource Management. And so if I were to apply to an HR job, or I have put in an application to be a speaker at an upcoming conference. Well, the fact that I can put PhD and SPHR, meaning I'm certified in HR, and I'm a member of SHRM, they're going to read my application. It's that simple. They're going to read it. Now, whether or not I get it is something else, right? So, Tiffany, it's true. It's why anytime I get an interview, I have to take the morning to meticulously do my hair and makeup. You know what? It's so funny. Oh gosh, it's so Chandel. Yeah. It's so. We judge things by what we see. It's pretty simple. I mean, we like to say that it's shallow, that you shouldn't judge a book by its cover. But if you don't judge a book by its cover, no book would ever have a cover. We judge books by their covers, which is why, how do you dress in an interview and so on and so forth. And yes, it does lend to credibility. By the way, I have a series on interviewing, but if you are interviewing and you want some coaching, come to me. Okay. Confidence. Is that the one I wanted to do? Yeah, it is. Confidence. All right. Confidence makes you come across as trustworthy and competent, giving the impression that you know what you're doing, you know what you're talking about, have a clear understanding of the situation and so forth. This one has been kind of my stock in trade, right? That's why you got a picture of me. I'm confident. Now, I want to go on the record and call out that I am as constantly terrified of everything as everyone else, right? But the truth is, the whole thing of fake it till you make it when it comes to confidence sort of works. So confidence can really communicate credibility. It's a perception. Because we all know that there's plenty of confident people out there that don't know what they're doing. There's this quote. Gosh, what's the name of the author? He's a real counterculture author. I forget. But his quote is, the problem with this world is all the stupid people are oh so confident of themselves, and all the smart people are doubting themselves constantly. Yeah. So confidence sells. Okay. Consistency sells. This is a tricky one for me because I understand, and I'm asserting, and it's true, it's supportable in the research, maintaining a consistent message and not frequently changing direction can help build credibility. I like to mess with things all the time. I like to screw with things. I like to change things up. I like to move things forward. So I'm not necessarily sure that I am the most consistent person, just because I like to push things forward. But consistency of message, consistency of vision, consistency of values, these things really communicate credibility. You also want to be authentic, right? When you are perceived as authentic, people are more likely to perceive you as trustworthy and honest, and therefore more credible. Now, I have a picture here of my Nutshell Brainery website, right? There's not a, and you've seen my studio and so forth. I've got the comic books. I've got all this sort of stuff going on. On one hand, it would be really easy to say, well, he doesn't come across as a very professional person. And it's like, you know what? More important than coming across as professional is coming across as authentic. This is who I am. I own it. I revel in the things in which I have interest. And so for me to assert that I provide caffeine-infused lecture materials and I make, weird-ass graphics and so forth for my products and so on, that is me being my authentic self. There's going to be plenty of people who are turned off by, that's kind of a irreverent or unprofessional, but those aren't my market. I'm interested in the people who find me authentic, and that adds the credibility. Okay. Reputation. This is, there's all kinds of great quotes out there about the importance of nurturing and maintaining your reputation. In fact, there are some societies that it gets pretty crazy, but reputation really matters in credibility. So, for example, here I've got Rate My Professor. I'm a 5. 89 folks said 5, a few people said 4, and a few people said, I could take or leave them. This adds to my reputation. And so if others with whom we identify, like your peers, your fellow students, if they report me as credible, then this adds to my reputation and adds to my credibility with future students. By the way, I sent out an email yesterday. Encourage your friends to take classes this summer. Let them, I have a couple of live stream classes, so there's some opportunities to do this with them, but summer classes are cool. So check out that email and encourage your friends to take the classes. Or if you're still looking for an IG credit or something, join me. Okay. Tiffany, because you're amazing. Thank you, Tiffany. Thank you. And yeah, better believe I'm going to give that a mark. Okay. So another thing that makes us credible is that we use credible sources of data. Okay, so even though I tell a lot of stories, this is what I did in Intel, and they're anecdotal, and when I had this experience, and so on and so forth. If I'm trying to make an assertion and I'm trying to get people to spend money on so forth, I need to bring data, and I need to bring data from credible sources. Now, this super matters for you, because you are going to be writing your strategic communications plan here soon. In fact, the first thing you're going to do is write your audience analysis, part of the strategic communications plan. Your audience analysis it's got to be credible, and you've got to use the right information from the right sources. So we're going to explore that. Shane, awesome. I'm glad. 10:50, we'll have a hoot. Okay, so let's look at this. Let's look at credible sources of data. What makes a credible source of data? Especially if you're doing social things and so forth, or reporting in the news and so forth, you need to kind of look at, well, is your source biased? Now, every source is biased because every source is created by a human being, and even AI is biased because it is sourcing from information that human beings created. So everything's biased. But there are certain, you want to find as neutral as possible. This website's kind of interesting. It's called All Sides, allsides.org, something like that. And they kind of list out a whole bunch of media sources with which you're well familiar, and they're biased. You've got some really liberal sources like the Daily Beast and Huffington Post, the HuffPost, and CNN and MSNBC, New York Times. Yeah, New York Times definitely. Slate. Going over to the really conservative side. So you've got Fox News, Daily Wire, Federalist, the National Review. National Review is a solid piece, solid publication. Nevertheless, you're going to get really biased views in here. You want to kind of stay central-ish, because then you are going to be perceived as more credible. Citing Fox News or citing the Daily Beast or the New York Times when you're trying to support a social cause, it's not going to be perceived as credible. You kind of want to stay in the middle there. My favorites are NPR, which is a little more on the conservative side, on the liberal side. Christian Science Monitor and Reuters are right there in the middle, the hill. They're excellent. And then Wall Street Journal Opinion is a little bit more on the conservative side, but it's excellent. So you want to have a mix there, because the more you can switch sides, if you will, the more credible you're going to come across. Credibility of authors, practitioners in their field, or students cutting their teeth, or a consultant with a financial motive. Who's the author and what's their motivation? You want to think about this when you cite a source, because some authors are, they have an agenda. There's a specific reason they're writing about this, because they want to persuade you one way or the other, or they're students cutting their teeth. There's plenty of, you've got a PhD dissertation. I wrote a PhD dissertation. That's considered a student cutting his, in my case, teeth, because it's my first real study. So you want to look at these things. You also want to look at what is the purpose of the article, the purpose of the study. Is it to add to the current body of knowledge, or is it to press forward an agenda? So, for example, when you research your target audience, you've got to kind of think about, well, who's the author of this, and why are they writing this, and what agenda are they pushing, or are they just adding to knowledge. Tiffany, Google Scholar. We're totally going to talk about Google Scholar. So hang on, because it is an excellent source. Okay. Did that give, yeah. And Sarah, we're going to talk about Wikipedia for the very reason you mentioned. Okay. When you're looking at literature reviews and so forth, you want to make sure that they include both recent work and what are called seminal works. So recent meaning you want to make sure it's the most current information you can get. Seminal means it kind of like defined the area of study, right? So for example, if you're going to say that feeling a sense of connection is really important for college students, and that this adds to their ability to feel self-esteem and relate with others, you're going to cite Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Well, now Maslow wrote his thing in 1947. So that's really old, but it's seminal. It's the original. He's the OG of this area of knowledge. You also want to think about how you're presenting the information, okay? I like to provide both sides. My feeling, this is just me, the better you can argue both sides of an issue, the more intelligent you are. This is my feeling. Because anybody can turn off their brain and spout off what the New York Times said or what Fox News said. It doesn't take a brain to parrot back what the TV just told you or what InfoWars told you. All right, or Rogan, or what, Joe Rogan. You don't have to have a brain to parrot things back. You have to have a brain and therefore be credible in order to explore both sides with full force. So you want to consider that when you're presenting your findings. If you're belittling the other side or the opposition, to me, that's a total red flag that you don't know what you're talking about. Because if you can't support your argument with data and instead have to break down the other side by belittling or ridiculing them, that tells me that you don't understand your side well enough or understand their side well enough. So consider this when it comes to credibility. Where to get the sources? You guys have already pointed out some winners. Wikipedia. Okay. We all know that you don't cite Wikipedia. However, as Sarah says here, you can use Wikipedia as a source to help you find sources on the topic. So here in Wikipedia somewhere, all right, right here, it says number 6, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 6. Now, this is Wikipedia citing sources. So you scroll on down to the bottom and you can find the sources that they've cited. Those are the sources that you want to cite in your own research, in your own assertions, your own presentations. So yeah, if I were doing a research study on self-esteem, I would have no qualms whatsoever about going to Wikipedia to see where I can start my search in terms of references and so forth. Oh my gosh, TikTok as a source? Wow. That's cuckoo bananas. I love it. I found some extremely niche sources on Wikipedia, and they've been astonishingly useful. It's really true. It's really true. So yeah, use Wikipedia, folks. It's cool. Another one you want to do is go to trusted publications. right? Things like this is the Harvard Business Review. I pulled that one because most of us are business majors or finance majors, accounting, what have you. You can go to Harvard Business Review. You can go to Forbes. You can go to these online publications that are perceived in the industry as credible. So it's a great place to go. And they, like Wikipedia, will often, if not always, cite the sources that they are using in their own articles. So great way to get information there. She worships Tucker as factual. That's concerning. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna say it. Yeah, I'm pretty centrist myself, but Tucker, that yikes. Google Scholar. You guys mentioned the Google Scholar. Okay, I'm gonna give you a trick on Google Scholar. Okay, so what's Google Scholar? It's Google, but any search, any result that it comes up with in your search is a peer-reviewed article. They're not always peer-reviewed, but they are generally academic, journal-based articles, okay? Now, here's the thing. Oftentimes, when you click on a source that you found in Google Scholar, it's behind a paywall. You can't open it. It might give you the abstract. And frankly, between you and me and anybody else watching this video, I oftentimes run with the abstract. I can get the information I need from the abstract. But most of the time, I want to look at the article so I can find the results and the discussion and so on and so forth. Well, it's behind a paywall. I got news for you. If you belong to Salt Lake Community College or any college or university and what have you, the library, the online library, has subscriptions to all these things. So go online, go to slick.edu and pull up the library. So what you then do is you find the article that you're looking for here on Google Scholar, then go to Slick Library and pull up the article. Going to the library first doesn't really work because you can't search very well, but you can find the actual thing that you're looking for that you found on Google search. So Google Scholar, that's what I like to do. Email the okay, this is a good one, folks. Listen to this one. And we've got a couple to add here. So Sarah says, email the person who wrote the article. They'll send it to you for free more often than not. This is absolutely true, okay? It's a jacked up system. It's a jacked up system, but the person who wrote the article has to submit it to the journal, and then the journal sells access to that article, and the author of the research doesn't get a penny. The microphone's up there. I should have done this, but you get the idea. So here the researcher is, the author, the researcher, what have you, has done this amazing work. It's behind a paywall, so folks can't get a hold of it, but they're more than happy to send you a copy for free. It's their research. All right, you can totally do that. Oftentimes, paywall publisher, no, they're not getting royalties at all. It's frankly unconscionable. There's actually some talk about changing this and so forth, but it's not going to happen. Ryan, amazing, but if you don't go to the actual article directly, the website sometimes, yes. Okay, so SIRS, SIRS is amazing, but yeah, sometimes you need to dig a little deeper. Absolutely correct. Okay. Hey, by the way, this is what the website looks like at the Slick Library, right? All the publications are there, but you just go ahead and put the title of the study that you want there in the search, and it'll find it for you. Okay. And bam, there you go. Now, I want to be clear. This is kind of important because, oh, that was funky. There it is. Slam. You are about to do your audience analysis for your strategic communications plan. The audience analysis will require the most research. You've already done your kind of purpose objective statement, but now you have to research the audience. We're going to talk more about this next week, but you should start thinking about it. Your audience analysis is where you're going to do the majority of your research. After you do the audience analysis, frankly, the rest of the strategic communications plan writes itself. It's really easy. But the audience analysis is what matters most. So this is what we are going to do. I am going to go into Canvas for those of you students joining us today, and I am going to set up Zoom meetings for us. Now, when you come into Zoom at the very same time, and you just click on the link, we'll be in Zoom, I will then set us up in our individual teams so that we can start working as teams. Now, of course, I'll launch us off. I'll explain what we're doing and what we should be working on and how to go about doing the next stage, right? But then it's team time. And this is a really good opportunity to try to get as much of the work done as possible, because in a perfect world, you shouldn't have to meet outside of our regular class time very often, maybe once every week or two, because we're going to be dedicating so much time in class to working as a team, okay? So you will see those links come up here in Canvas here before too long. So with that, that's the end of our lecture series for this class. We've only got like 5 weeks left, 5 weeks to do our final plan. I love this part, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I really want to thank all of you for participating so much in these live stream lectures. It means a world to me, and I don't say that lightly. It means a world to me that people are engaging, that they're talking with each other like you were with SIRS and so forth. This is what this whole modality is about and why I've done what I have here to make it work out. So thank you very much. If you need to take Business 1050, like, hold on, Shane is going to take Business 1050 with me in the summer. That's Foundations of Business Thought. Then join me. Or if you need an IG credit, do 1060. But everything is in the email that I sent out yesterday. All right? So with that, class is dismissed. I will stick around in case you have any questions or anything. Any questions, comments, anything you want to talk about, I'm here in the comments. But otherwise, go forth and do awesome things, and we will talk to you all again next week. Have a good one. Let's see, do a video on how to do well in an interview. Okay, Tiffany, I have a video about how to do well in an interview. I have a series in Nutshell Brainery. The playlist is something like career change or something like that. But if you go to my channel, Nutshell Brainery, and do a search on interview, you will find a video there about how to prepare for interviews. That being said, if you want some one-on-one, or if the rest of you are like, you know what, I'd love to attend a separate live stream on resumes and interviews and things like that, I'll hook us up. I'll totally do that. Stephanie, thank you. We will see you soon. Okay, Tiffany, I'll line something up because interviews matter. Ryan, oh, good. Hope to see you in that class as well. That's excellent. Yeah, Business 1050 it's a different animal than this class, but it's a good class. I enjoy it. So Luke, so we will be doing Zoom meetings every Tuesday at the same time from now on. Okay, yeah, Luke, same length. Now it's really up to you and your team because the vast majority of that time that we're in Zoom, you're with your team. Now it may be that you and your team use the whole time, or it may be that you and your team say, hey, you know what, let's do this for 20 minutes, but then we need to go do some individual work, so we're going to meet again as a team in 3 or 4 days. It's totally up to you. The Zoom time is for you guys. Just no lecture, no talky talk, or at least very little. Christopher. Oh, cool. Oh, man, Christopher, I'm glad to hear that. That's the whole point. Apply these things to your current job. Absolutely. That means the world to me. Thank you. Alex, we'll see you later. Tiffany, we'll set up Zoom. Let's see. Won't have time after 20 minutes. Let's see. It will be set up in a way that Zoom won't time. Oh, yeah. No, don't worry. It's not going to time out. No, I'll hook you up. I know technology, or at least I try to, right? We'll see you, Richard. You bet, Tiffany. So funny, I'm having to read like this because the comments are up there, but also my glasses, right? Hey, Moving Death! Great to see you, man. You're alien. We'll see you later. Thank you. Good old Moving Death. One of the best usernames I've ever seen. Shendale, you bet. We'll talk to you later. I see folks dropping off. Again, any questions, anything at all? I'm here. But it looks like folks are feeling pretty good. That's good. All right, well, things seem pretty quiet, so I am going to go ahead and end this live stream, and I will see you all next week. Have a great one.